Alright, so recently I decided to stop being a lazy bum and try to learn some OpenGL. Well, I said, how do I draw graphics, right? Because I've been programming for a few years. You wouldn't be able to tell the way I write programs, but I decided, well, how do I make graphics? And so I looked into it, and it was like, oh, you can make your own graphics API, or you could use one of these other ones that exist. So there was OpenGL, Vulkan, I think DirectX, and something else. And I was like, well, either Vulkan or OpenGL. So here we are. As you can tell, I've chosen OpenGL, and I'm using OpenGL 1.1, the one from like 1997. It's something. It's something. Trying to find information on how to use it was interesting. Anyway, so this is just to demonstrate a little program I made after bashing my head in for a few days. Looking at documentation, looking for like the old red book, I think, a red guide, whatever it's called, whipping out the AI, like, AI, confirm my thoughts on this, right? So we just, I had to download free Glut, because Glut doesn't exist anymore, or it does, but you have to like find a really old version, something like that. Alright, so this took forever to install free Glut. Now, just to go through the program real quick, we have a bunch of global variables. It's pretty funny. We have a special type that's provided by Glut. We have, let me just get to the display, and this just display something, red, green, blue, and alpha, which this changes like the transparency, so that like one being fully opaque. Now these control the red, green, and blue, and then we have this. We'll get to that in a second. We have a keyboard input, and that's pretty cool. You can, define keys and what they do, whatever, right? And then you have your main. A good thing I'm using Glut, because when I first tried doing it, I was like, oh, let me just use Windows H, right? Maybe that'll work. Yeah, don't do that. That's like 100 lines of code minimum to get a window to open, right? That's actually miserable, and yeah, I would never recommend it. So then this is the window size and the position. If I don't set this, it just automatically like sets it from the bottom left, right? And then you can name the window. That's cool. And then you display the display function, right? So you call this and what you want to display. So if you want to draw something, right, we're drawing this. So it's just displaying that. And then, yeah, we have to update colors and keyboard function, and then the main loop. And once it enters this loop, it just goes into a just checking to see state changes, right? Looking for me to tell it to do something, right? And that's what these are doing. These are telling it to do something. And so the meat and potatoes, because this is all basically you need all this stuff to even get it to work, right? So that's basically you'll see that in every single code, right? If you're using Glut, or if you're a normal person, you use modern GL and you use Glad and whatever else, right? So the actual code that actually matters here, that actually does something, does the thing I want it to do, is this, right? So we have our global variables here for the color, and that just changed the background color, and I'm incrementing them. And then once, this hits a certain level, right, it'll then set the global to 1, right? And this is not equal to 0, so it moves on, right? And does that through all the way throughout. And of course, you have to call a redisplay every single time to tell it to update the display. I thought that's cool, right? That's how you do it. And yeah, so if we were to run this, all it does is open a window. And as you can see, it's slowly changing from, no color to like the max color. And we use float values from 0 to 1, right? But there's an infinite amount of numbers in between 0 and 1. There's 0.0001, 0.00, right? You get the idea. There's an infinite amount of numbers you could use. Obviously, if I use very small increments, it'll change it'll change, and you'll barely be able to notice the change, right? So you can see my little program here went from white, red, blue, or have we gotten to blue? Red, green, and then blue. So that way you can, see. It's whatever. It's a program I wrote, right? And there you go. Look, and then after this, it should switch back to the white screen, where it goes to white. Yeah, that's pretty cool.